Let's work on the problem which we started yesterday. One second. Let me go here. So this is not the right one actually. We are not comparing this one. Actually, this should be if ARI plus ARJ. Yesterday I gave the for loop and it was not about equal, so I put equal to and I was returning. That's not the right one. I have to check these two are equal to target number. So this two should be equal to target. Then only we will return ing. So that was the I just quickly did that one. But the real thing is if I take one number and I take another number and if I add them and if both are equal to the target, then I return ij. So this is correct kind of solution, but this is taking two for loops and which is increasing the complexity of the problem. And so this is not acceptable in any of the company. So we have to write another one which will reduce the complexity to only the one. So how we will do that? So what we will do to solve this problem, what we'll do, we'll go through this number only once. So let's say I go with the first number 2 and then I go with the second number 7. It is a 0 index is 0 and 2, and this is the 1 index, that is the 7 number. And then I'll go to the what you call as 2 index, and then it is 11, and I'll go to the third index, okay, third index, and I will put it as a 15. Okay. So I'll go only one time with all the numbers, and each time and each time I will save something in a hash format. And how to do the hash format is something like this. I will create an object. This is called object is equal to this one, array, and an object. Then what I'll do, I will save here object of what is the target, that is 9. So 9 minus, and what is the number here? 2 is equal to, I will save it the index, that is a 0. And in this case I will save object, again I'll take this 9 number and I'll minus this 7 here, and I will make it as 1. Okay, and then again I'll go object 9 minus 11 is equal to 2, and then again in the fourth case I will save object 9 minus 15 equal to 3. So this way I will save the object in this format. Now, the advantage of saving this format is that uh, is that uh, I'll show you the advantages. What is the advantage? So let's move further. So I'm saving this like in this format. And since we're going in the one loop, we have to finish in one loop only. We don't need second loop. So this will be, the first line will be object of 7 equal to 0. And in the second line, object of 2 is equal to 0, equal to 1. And here, object of 9 minus 11 is minus 2 is equal to 2. And the last case, object of 9 minus 15 is minus 6 is equal to 3. Okay, so this is the ultimate. We are getting 9 minus 2 is the 7. 9 minus 7 is the 2. And 9 minus 11 is minus 2. And 9 minus 15 is minus 6. So if you compare that 7 and 2, this becomes the 9, right? So that means these two, if we add these two, we are getting 9. So we need the index of 0 and 1 in this case. So what we will do, in this case I already got the 7. And in each case, I will check. In each case, I will check if object of number. What is the number? Here the number is object of number is 2. So I'll check if object of 2 is existed. If the object of 2 is there, that means it is already created. That means this part is already created. Then I'll do something. What I'll do, I'll show you. So I will check object of 2 exists. The answer is no in the first case, because here we are creating object of 7 and object of 2 is not there. So this case will not go. If condition will not go. This if condition will be, actually it should be before creation of this object. So if this object already exists, then I'll do immediately something and I'll get the answer. If object of 2 exists, I'll get the answer. But in this case, object of 2 doesn't exist because object is empty. Let's go to the second line. If object of number, what is the number here? Number is 7. Object of number, that is object of 7 exists or not. So in this case, in the second case, object of 7 already exists because in the first level I already created object of 7. So if object of 7 is there, it existed, then what I will do, I will return this object of 7. What is object of 7 value? Is 0. And second, I will return the index of this one. Okay, so index, that is the 1. So immediately I'll return that. So this way we will avoid the second loop. Since we are getting the object and then we are comparing the two value of the object, that is here I am checking if object of 7 exists, which was created in the previous line. And since object of 7 is existed, that means if we add these two, number, we are getting the target of 9. Let's do that in the browser. So it will be easy to understand. Okay, so I will first create a number. Okay, so number will be the list at array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I will create the target. The target, for example, I want the target of 9. Okay, now I will go through this number. Now let's create the object equal to this one. So rather than creating object here separately, we will put a function and put it in the function. So let's create a function to sum, which will take nums and target as a parameter. Okay, and then here I will create object, and after object I'll loop through these numbers. And whenever I loop through, I'll create one number only, which will be nothing but numbers of I. And I will create object, and I'm not finishing this, I'm just creating object with target, that is this target 9 minus this number. Okay, so I'm doing this one, and in the end, let's return object. I have not finished it, I'm just showing what is the target coming right now. Let's call this with nums and target. So here you will see target is 9. 9 minus number. What is the number in the first case? 1. That is 8. 8 equal to 0. So 8 will be equal to 0. Next will be target 9 minus 2. That is 7. 7 will be 1. That is the index of 1. Next will be 9 minus 3. That is 6. Its value will be 2 because index is 2. Then 9 minus 4 is 5 and its index is 3. Then I'll go 9 minus 5, that is 4, its index is 4. Now in each case I will check if previously object exists or not. So this is the object. So when I am here, I have to check. When I am here, I have to check if object of number, that is object of 8, exists or not. Object of number, what is the number? Object of in the first case, it will create object of 8, right? In the first case, it will create object of 8. So, and number is 1. Okay, so I will check object of 1 exists or not. Since initially the object is null, object is empty, so the object of 1 doesn't exist in the first case. So I create object of 8 equal to 0. So let's return Let's copy this function again. So in the first case, number will be 1, and this object of target minus number, that is, it will be 8, because 9 minus 1 is 8, and index will become 0 in the first case. And here, every time I'll check if object of number is not equal to undefined. That means object is created, else I'll create this object. If object is not created, I will create the object. So let's go through one by one. So in the first case, number is 1. So this number is 1. And whether object of 1 is created or not, since object is empty, object of 1 is not created. So we'll go to the else case. Here I will say target, that is 9 minus number, that is 8, is equal to I. So we are saving 8 equal to I. So after the first case, object will become 8 equal to 0. So this is after the first case. Then I'll go to the second number. Second number is 2 here. So I'll check if object of 2 is created or not. So second time this number is 2, and I'll check object of 2 is created, but object of 2 is not created. We have object of 8 only. So since it is not created, I will go into the else part, and in the else part, target, that is 9 minus this 9 minus 2, that will be equal to 7. So here it will be 7, and it will save it as 1. So after the second time, I will be getting 7 equal to 1. Let's go to the third time. In the third time, we have the number of 3. So this number will become 3. And I'll check if object of 3 existed. Here you will see object of 8 is created, object of 7 is created, but object of 3 is not created. So we are not in this if case. We are in the else case. So we go here. Here it will be 9 minus 3. That is 6. 6 will become equal to 2. So after the third number, we will get 6 equal to 2. Then we have this case. Here the number will be 4. And then I'll check object of 4 is existed. Here object of 4 is not there. So I'll create object of target, that is 9 minus 4, that is 5. 5 is equal to 3. The next case will be 5 equal to 3. Then I'll go to the last one. Last one, the number is 5. And I'll check if object of number, that is object of 5, is there. Let's check it. And we see the object of 5 existed. Since object of 5 existed, we will return here. What will return? Return an array. In the array, first we have to take this object of number. Object of number is 3. And I have to pass the I. I is 4. In this case, I will become 4. We are passing the index. Remember, this is the index. We are passing index. We are passing index. So we are returning object of number, that is 3. In the last case, object of I is 3. So we are returning 3 and I is 4. So ultimately we are returning 3 and 4. Because we have to return the index of the number which has total number of target. And otherwise, in the end, we can return null. That is, it doesn't match. It's not there. And let's check this again. So if I pass number target, I get 3 and 4. 3 and 4 means this and this one, which is equal to target. Let's pass some different number. Let's pass target of 7 and number is same. So we are getting 2 and 3. 2 is this one and 3 is this one. Index of 2 is 3. Index of 3 is 4. So we are returning this. If I pass target of 3, I am getting 0 and 1 because I am getting 0 index, the value is 1 and 1 index value is 2. So go through this function multiple times to understand in each case what we are doing, and that way you will master this problem. This is the most frequent problem asked in interview because it's a simple also, and it is not very simple, not very hard. So we'll finish this function. Let me put in the JavaScript folder. And then I can call. So this is a problem. So go through this problem multiple times, and then you will know again and again. If you do again and again, you will understand this part, because this is little complicated part. We are subtracting target from number. That's little complex. Otherwise, everything is simple. You can try your own method of object. This is one way, but you can try different method also, and see if you can achieve that one. Instead of target, you can say object of number, or you can manipulate little bit more and try to find different solution also. This is one way, but it can be done in different number of ways. So I am using this hash number as this is I'm thinking, but you can have different hash number based on your thought process. Okay, so let's finish this one and let's go to our React one today now. So yesterday we completed the criteria, and criteria is this one criteria part. So whenever I change the criteria to current and future, or current running, or future events, or past completed event, whatever we have, we show that one. So this the default part. Maybe I have to fix in the select one, which I'll do later. Right now, I don't want to waste time on that part, but I'll do that tomorrow or on Monday. I'll do that one. So I have to fix the select box to take the default value. Right now, it's not taking the default value. I gave the first part as a default one, and it's not taking. So I think probably we have to fix the select box to take the default one. That we'll do separately after finishing this page. Okay, so current and running, and the future event, and past completed. Let's make this more complicated. We will add more fields on the left side, and based on the adding of fields, we will change the results on the right side. Okay, so for example, if I pass test 3, I'm getting test 3. And if I pass test 1, so this one keyword is working fine. And if I search location, so I'm also getting the location, and based on the location, this is sorted. This is 17 mile away and this is 18 mile away. So based on this location, this part is 17 mile away and this part is 18 mile away, and feature 3 is 18 miles away. Past 1 is 9 miles away. So all these three things are working fine. Let's go to add more stuff on the left side. And this is the first example. And when we go with the other one, like after this, we will be going to this. I don't want this one. So we will be, after this, we'll be making each one as a separate website, activity, artist, childcare, all this will go as a separate project. And most of the things I'll copy from this project, and few parts I will change in each case. So something will be changed in each case, otherwise few things will be same. Okay, let's move further now. So I put the table name here in this as a separate constant. Let's try to make one configuration file, and I will put all the configuration things in that file. So let's create a new file, put it as config.js. And in this config.js, I'll put all the hard-coded statements like table name. So instead of putting constant here, I'll put all the important stuff in this config file. I'll say export. So each variable which or function I create, I will export it. And then I take the table name from this file rather than hard-coded here. So I'll say import. Since I did not put the default word to import this, I cannot say table name from config, because if I put table name here directly, I should have the default statement export default table name. But since there is no default, I can take table name in curly bracket. Like this moment, I'm taking without curly bracket pagination. Since I have default for the pagination, I can take pagination without curly bracket. But in the last case, I don't have the default word, so I'm taking table name in the curly bracket. And if you see the add function, I have the node type, this node type, and node type is events. This is also hard-coded value. So let's put that in the config file. Export constant node type equal to events. And I will also get node type here. Okay, so from this line number 9 line number, I'll put it on add page also, and I'll remove this table name. I'll also take the node type from the config, and I'll remove this node type here, and I'll take this node type directly. I'll put inside in this post statement. Okay, so we have put two things in the config one. Okay, so these two, we will be adding more stuff here soon. Okay, let's see what else I can do here. Okay, so right now I also feel I can put this stuff, what is the criteria, all criteria. So let's put that also. So I create an array and put it here. And when I'm creating this initial values, this one, C criteria and this set criteria, I have this default one of this one. So let's create one default, or I can use all category 0 value as a default one. So let's import this here, all categories, all criterias, let's make S. So I take the all criteria, and then here I will take this as all criteria of 0 number. That is the first one. I make it as default, and I'll also change this one. Options we are getting from all criteria, so I'll put it in here, all criteria. So that way I'm getting this all criteria from this config file. Let's check if it is working or giving error. So we are not getting any error, and select is also fine. So tomorrow, if I want to change the default one to 1, I can do it here, and that way. So I'm showing only the running one, okay, because I changed the default to 1. Let's change it to 0. Okay, let's go further now. So next part which we want to show on the left side is the criteria. When I go to post it, I have this categories. Next part we have to show the categories on the search part, so user can choose which category he wants to see. Okay, so let's do that one now. So for that, I need the checkbox, and I will copy the checkbox from. Okay, so let's go to add, and we'll copy from here. Not this ad. We don't want this ad. This is project 4 ad. So here I'll copy this checkbox in array, and let's put it here. And let's take this data. Okay, so this data also I can put in the config file. So here I can say export constant all categories. So I'll put all categories here. This is an array format. So instead of hard coding value here, I can get all categories here. And instead of displaying here like this, I can use all categories. Same thing I'll do here, checkbox in array. And I'll put it inside here. Okay, I have not specified all categories here on this page. So here you can see I have the all category also. So user can choose the location, user can choose the keyword, user has to choose which category he wants to see. Let's say you want to see these three categories from this list, because now we have only dummy data. But when we go with the real life, we may have thousands of events, and then we have to choose which category I want to see. I want to see only the free stuff, then I can choose the free stuff. Or I want to see the food and drink, I can choose this one. So let's see what we have in this database, and then I'll choose that one to see the result. So in the third case, we have a free competition art and film. Here also we have free. Here we have tech. Okay, so test. Let's take this one. Sorry. So in the test one, I have the category of free. So let me choose free. I already chose. Now if I click search, nothing is happening because we have not integrated this category inside this search. So let's do that now. So right now if we see the data, let's console.log that thing, form values. I want to see what is there in the form value. I don't need to see criteria. Okay, so once I select free, form values will be categories of free and food and drink. So the categories will be free and food and drink. Now we got this category, now we have to do the query on these categories. So to do the query on the category, we have in the document, I'm just going through what I can use in the query. Okay, so this one, this contained in is the one where I put the column name and I pass the array, and any of this value matches with this column name, then it takes it there. So it uses this one. So I'll use this part and to query the category. So what I'll do, here, so we need the category also. Right now I'm passing keyword criteria. So whenever I will search, right now I'm only putting the search in the location and keyword. Let's put that in the category. So whenever I will search, I will set the categories also, because categories we have in the form value, but form value is only when we change something on the left side. But when we click the search button, we need the changes in this variable set category. These variables are used when user will click the search button, except this criteria part. Criteria part we immediately change. Otherwise, all these three things are used whenever we click the search button, because we don't want to search on the database again and again when the form changes. Unless the user click the search button, I don't want to touch the search button. I don't want to search the backend database, only in this case, except in this case criteria part. Otherwise, all cases I want to search on the database when user will click the search button. So I have to create another variable in addition to this one for the form values. And when user clicks the search button, I have to set category with the value which he has chosen on the left side, that is, which is there in this category. So on the click of this one, what I'll do, I will I will set categories, and then I have to choose the form values dot categories. I just don't want to save this category directly. I'll say in the copy of that one. So I will use this format. Or for now, I'll do same thing, but then I'll change to the copy of that one. I don't want to manipulate directly this one. So right now, I'll keep it like that, but later on, I'll change it. So for now, just keep it like this is fine. So as soon as now, so as soon as I change this one, when I click search button, you will see I have to show you the category also. Let me console.log out the category. So right now category is an empty array, but as soon as I change it, you will see the category is whatever I selected it here. Okay, so this category I have to take in the search part. Since I have to take it in the search part, I'll pass this in the React use effect. This is the React use effect. I have to pass it here. So last part will be categories. Okay, now let's check. Okay, so now let's change the category. So we have three categories, or make free one also. And when I click search, I have the categories of this one, these three. And I go and redo the query on the database. Since I use this, in use effect. That means I'm doing the requery the database. But right now there's no code to take the category. Now let's take that code. So here I'll check. We have the keyword also. I'll add one more line. If I have categories and categories.length is greater than 0. So right now there is a category is an empty array. So we have to check if the array has some value. So if array has some value, I will say query.contained in, and I'll pass the categories, and I'll pass this as an array. So we have to pass, like we saw in document, we have to pass the column name. Column name is nothing but categories, and we have to pass the value in the array format like this. So I pass the value. This category is an array of value which you choose on the left side. Now let's do that one. So we know the free category, this running one is free category, right? Sorry, I deleted this one. So this test one is having the category of the free. Okay. And test 3 has the category of these three things. So we'll check that also. So if I choose free and food and drink, I want to see only these two, and I click search. So you will see only the test one because free is related to test one. But if I add tech also, test 3 is getting the category of tech. So if I search, I'm getting both the value. So tech is for the test 3 and free is for tech 1. So you will see when I'm clicking the search button, I have to scroll this to see the result. I want when I click the search button, I should automatically scroll to the top to see the results. Okay, so that part we'll fix now. Now we can see that any career I choose, I can see the result based on that category. So if I remove this two, then I'll get only one of the this. So we have taken the category and integrated in the search part, in the result part. If I choose empty, then I choose both because here I am saying if category is present, then only search in the category, otherwise don't search in the category. Now let's add the function to scroll to top when user click the search button. So I'll say constant scroll top equal to a function, and in this function I'll use there is a window function, default function of the JavaScript that is called window dot scroll to, and here I have to pass a parameter. One parameter will be top equal to 0 and behavior equal to smooth, and I'll call this scroll top in the function when I call the search button. Here is the search button. I'll call this scroll top. So that when user will click the search button, it will scroll to the top one. So for example, I click search now, I am scrolling to the top. Okay, so we use the button of scroll. So this is scroll top. It takes the window function, window to dot scroll top, and it has the parameters top equal to 0 and behavior equal to smooth. So something we did scroll up here. Okay, next thing what we'll do, do the sorting part also. So when user wants to sort based on the start date or end date or the created date, or created date not needed in this case, but it is needed in other cases, so we will add that also. And if user has selected this location, then we should have default sort of what you call as this miles. So something we will play with sorting now. Let's do the sorting part now. One second. So I'm just taking the sorting values. One second. Let me see what are the sorting values which I have to put. Okay. So let's go to sorting part. So in the config, I will create some sorting values. So for example, export constant sorting direction values. It will be array and it will have object inside it. So value will be 1 and label will be ascending. So if this sorting direction value is 1, I want to sort ascending. Okay, and then if the value is this value, you can put anything. I put 1 and -1. If it is -1, I will do the descending. Okay, so this is the sorting values. Setting direction, this is the direction. Let's create another one that will have the sorting values. So this values will be, first value will be created at, and label will be, I'll say, created date. And second one will be event start date, and then here it will be start date. Okay, and third one will be event end date, and here I'll say end date. So right now we have 1 created at, event start date, and event end date. Right? So we have the sorting. So we will get these 1 in this form. So I call one is the sorting values, and then there is sorting. Okay, so now here I will check. Let's see where I can see. Okay, here let me do it here. So if I have form value location, so I can say if I have form location, then also the sorting values I have to add. So what I want to add, I want to add one more criteria, and that criteria will be distance, and label will be distance. So we will get this sorting value from the config file, but if we have the location, that is, if user has chosen the location, then I want to manipulate this sorting value by adding one more card, and that will be the distance, because I also want to sort on the distance if user has chosen that location. So right now, if you see, okay, let's add the select box first. So we have the sorting value. I will be using select box to choose that one. So let's copy this select box. After the checkbox array, I will put this select box, and here I will say, and options will be sorting values. And when I choose this sorting, I have to update this sorting in the form values. So in the form value, I will add one more called as sorting. Initially, I'll make the default one of 0, and also I'll choose another one sorting direction, and here I'll choose sorting direction values of the first one. That is, the default will be the first one, that is the 0th number. This one is the first one as a default, and this one is the first one as a default. So I put default value here, and this is the key value which I will change based on the form. If you change something in the form, I will update this form value of sorting. Since I want to use this name value pair, I will use name value pair in here. So I created this single select of choose sorting, and whenever someone change this sorting, I will change this one, handle change with name dot bind this, and I will give a name of sorting. So whenever someone will change, the form value of sorting will be updated. This one, this part will be updated, and whenever someone will change the direction, then this part of the form value will be updated. So similarly, I will copy it, and in the second one, I'll say choose sort direction, and there will be sorting use, and here I'll change to sorting direction, and default one will be form values dot sorting. Here will be the default one will be form values dot sorting dir. Okay, so we have the sorting part and sorting direction. This is the options which I gave from the config file, and this is the handle change. Whenever I change the sorting, I change the form value of the sorting key. Here I change the form value of the sorting direction key, and the default one I show whatever there is form value is there. So let's take this one now. So we have the sorting and sorting direction here. So let's change this one to create a date. You will see in the form value we have the sorting to create a date. Let's just to start date. So we have the event start date in the sorting, and if I change this to end date, you will see this sorting is getting to event end date. And if I change the sorting direction ascending, so I'm getting ascending, and if I change to descending, I am getting this descending. So we are getting the proper values in the form one. But as soon as I click search button, I need two variables which will be updated, because these variables are in the form values, and form value is only to display the left side form. It will be not used in the querying the results. So to query the results, we need to create two more variables, and we have to update those variables whenever user will click the search button. So to create the two variables, I'll create here like I created this one. So this variable will be updated when user will click the search button, except the criteria one, because criteria one immediate. So here I'll create two more variable. One is called sorting and set sorting. Value will be initially I put value of this sorting value is 0. And here say sorting direction. Initially I put this default value. So we got sorting, set sorting, sorting direction, set sorting direction, and these two will be updated as soon as I click the submit button. So whenever I click submit button, I will update this one, set sorting to form values or sorting, and I'll also say set sorting direction form values dot sort direction. I have to also pass these two variables in the use effect for querying. So here I will add these two, sorting and sorting direction. If I don't put it here, I won't be able to use it inside the use effect. Now, in the use effect, we have to use, right now I'm using sorting like this one. I will use the sorting based on what sorting I'm getting it. So here I can say I'm not touching this part, which I will take care after some time, or tomorrow. I'll take care of this tomorrow. Right now I'll be doing this part only. So here I can say query dot descending. So here I have to check the sorting direction. Okay, so this direction, based on the direction, I have to do that one. Okay, so let's remove this part direction. Here I will say if sorting direction dot value equal to 1. So it is 1, then I have to do query dot ascending or ascending, and here I have to put the value of the column, and column will come from the sorting field. So I put the sorting value. So if direction is 1, then I do ascending of the sorting value. Else, if sorting direction dot value is equal to -1, then I do query dot descending sorting dot value. So based on 1 or 2 -1, I choose ascending or descending. Okay, let's check now. Okay, I forgot to give the equal sign. Why it's showing the label? Okay, now, so the currently it is sorting based on the created date because I put 0 as a created date. Let's change it to the end date. The end date is this one. Okay, so this one is first, this one is second, and if do ascending, so it is fine. It is ascending. Now let's do the descending and click the search button. So you will see I'm getting this first and getting this later. If I do the start date descending, so this one is coming first and this is coming second. Let's do ascending. On the start date, this is coming first and this is coming second. So based on the sorting and sorting direction, I am able to manipulate this sorting part. Let's add the location. Okay, something went wrong. Okay, so this sorting part, let's remove this for some time because this is giving error. Okay, this error is different one. Let's take this photo error. So we are getting error here, this part. Okay, so let's remove this part. This part, since I'm creating this value, this sorting value is coming as a constant. This value is a constant. If you see, I created this constant, and so this changing is creating the problem. I cannot change, update it. I cannot change the constant value. That's the reason it is doing error. So let's remove this part. Okay. So now, if I choose Foster City, so right now, if I change this Foster City, and if I do anything sorting, it doesn't matter. It will sort based on the location of this location, because here the condition is something, we don't have the condition. We have the user's location, then I sort based on this user location. Otherwise, I sort based on sorting values. So this is fine for now. If user chooses the location, I will use this location part. Otherwise, I will use the sorting part which they have already there. So for now, this is fine, but later on we will also try to see if we can merge these two things. Okay, so let me, right now I'll not touch it. So that's all for today. We did the sorting part, we did the checkbox, and based on this left thing, we also change the results based on this one. So that's all for today. If you have any questions, ask me or else. See you tomorrow.